guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing very well. You know, today I thought I would do something that I haven't done really before and do a collections video and talk about some of the video game collections that I have and go through some of the games and my experience with the console and so on. So today I thought I would start with a game console that for me was both a hit in the beginning but then became quite a miss near the end. And that console is the Nintendo Wii. So the very original. Now I remember when this first came out, the commercials that were put out for this was absolutely amazing. And I remember seeing, you know, a whole bunch of grandparents and whole families together, all playing Wii bowling or playing Super Mario Brothers on the Wii, and they had all these cool commercials. And one of my favorite ones was when you had two Nintendo CEOs or representatives of Nintendo coming to your home and knocking on your door and then saying, "We would like to play," and giving you the Wii remote. I used to find that absolutely enjoyable watching that. And I remember being enthralled by this idea of motion controls, because up to that point, I mean, there have been ideas at that time and even before with the Virtual Boy to utilize, you know, motion controls kind of stuff, right? And leave it to Nintendo, of course, to finally perfect it and get a really good controller that did a pretty good job. Right? It wasn't perfect, but it did a pretty good job. And I thought it was so cool at the time. And I remember it was Christmas one year, and I remember getting the red Special Edition Wii console. And that was a special bundle to celebrate, I believe it was the 20th or some anniversary for Mario, because what you ended up getting was packaged in to that console. You got packaged in Wii Sports, which always came with the Wii console, and it also came with Super Mario Brothers, which I can't find for some reason. I'm sure my daughter has moved it on me, because I had it sitting here right along with this, and it seems to be missing. Now, you might be asking, why was it out like this? It didn't, when it was boxed in with the Wii console, they came with these little cardboard sort of disc holders, if you will. And over time, they do break apart because, you know, it wasn't just me playing this. There was friends and family. We always to get together and have big parties around games like Wii Sports. And so it kind of broke apart over time. And so then you're just left with the disc. And so I don't like that idea, and it's easy to lose them. And so hopefully my daughter has not used them as frisbees, which is what she's been using them lately for. But anyways, what I liked about the Wii, as I said, was the idea of the motion controls. And this was best exemplified with this Wii Sports. This is like the demo, right, for the entire game and how to utilize motion controls. And it did a fantastic job. I have to admit, Nintendo made a fantastic product here. And it's actually one of the most enjoyable games on the Wii. Right? Wii Sports is what I think the vast majority of people ended up buying a Wii console for. I know a lot of people who were not gamers. My aunt, I had uncles, I had everybody that I knew was buying this Wii just for this game. And that was very interesting and speaks volumes about sort of Nintendo's ideas at the time. They were trying to market a motion control gimmick, if you will, and because of how cool it was and how awesome this title was, everybody wanted to play, and that exploded their market share, and everybody wanted to buy that console, and their console became extraordinarily successful. And that's sort of what led to the downfall of the Wii U, which I would argue is a way better console than the original Wii. But I was on the bandwagon. I was so excited about these motion controls, and so was my whole family. And Wii Sports was the most used game in our entire family. I loved it. We played it constantly, almost daily for years. Every party we had, birthday parties, family gatherings at my grandmother's cottage, we would bring the Wii with us, and this game was being played all the time. And that just tells you how wonderful this game was. I have so many great memories, and as I'm speaking to you now, they're sort of flashing back in my mind at the cottage and my sister with the devil horns on that she was playing. She had this phase where she put them on, and she was playing boxing, and you got to punch with the controller and the nunchuck. And I just have these visions of that, or me playing baseball with my grandmother, right? Never played video games, but wanted to play this. It just is, it's very fun. Tennis, oh my goodness, I remember playing tennis on this. Oh, golf, I was obsessed with the golf on this for a while. Bowling was my favorite, above all else. I think for most of my family it was. But that's what I'm saying, this game really took off for the Wii. Now, the other one, which I don't have here because my daughter probably took off with it, is the new Super Mario Bros. Wii. And that was a very fun game. Again, you had to use the motion controls, and I was okay with that because, again, this was a novelty thing, and I thought it was really cool, and they really did a great job when you had the hat where you could spin, and you just shook the remote, and then he would boom and spin. That was really fun. And another aspect of why I really enjoyed the game too is it's a lot of couch co-op, and that's one of the things that Nintendo has always done so well, which is couch co-op, bringing people together at the same place and play together. That's always been fun for me, and that's where we have most of the best memories for me come from these types of couch co-op interactions. And it was a lot of fun. I remember often dying, or my one sister who's really good at games would get really far ahead and leave my other sister behind while I was in the middle catching up. So a lot of great times and a lot of fun times with that. Now, another game that I played and didn't mind too much, it was okay, and this I also got relatively at the beginning, was the Rain Man Raving Rabbids disc. I didn't admittedly play it as much as, for example, Wii Sports, and this is one that I lost the case for. I don't know where the case went, but it wasn't a bad game. It's like a party type game again, where it's a lot of people working together and mini games and things. And it wasn't too bad, but we didn't play it nearly as much, of course, as Wii Sports. Now, another game that I played a lot of was Ghost Recon. This was a really fun game. The whole mechanics with the nunchuck and the Wii remote to make it like a sniper really worked out very, very well, and it actually didn't do too bad. At times there was some aiming difficulty here and there, but I actually found it not too bad, to my surprise, and I really liked it. And have a lot of fun memories screaming at the TV while playing it. It was after this part here, these are more in the beginning aspect of my time with the console. Then right around this time, I kind of got tired of the gimmick of motion controls. And in part because they stopped becoming very precise. They were losing their precision. So for example, you would aim to a certain spot and it would somehow not aim up properly on the TV, or it wouldn't register the remotes properly, meaning that you get drift or things that would happen that would just really destroy gameplay. And the other aspect of using the motion controls for most of these games is that you had to actually move and be active, which I know is what they were going for. But some single player campaigns I don't want to do that with, right? I don't want to be having to stand and having to wave my arms around to do things or do certain actions. And so that kind of got on my nerves a bit. And then that's when I started to not buy as many games for the Nintendo Wii, and if I did buy them, I'd play a little bit and then stop, because I just couldn't handle the controls. Now, I eventually did buy the Pro Controller, and that made things a lot better and a lot more fun for me. But I stopped playing it for a while because of that. And I began to play it more when I got this game, because this game is an awesome game, and if anybody has ever never played it, they really should give it a try. I think it's now on the Switch even, and that is Sonic Sega All-Stars Racing. This is a phenomenal racing game. I loved this game. This game has so many great memories of me in university, coming home and sort of just not feeling into studying or being exhausted, but just wanted to sort of unwind for a bit. I remember putting this in and playing the shit out of this game. It is a fun game, innovative tracks. There's, awesome character roster, of course, from all over Sega. And it was just really enjoyable. And it kind of got me interested in many of these different games from Sega. Things like Monkey Ball, for example, or, some of the, Crazy Taxi games. Obviously, of course, Sonic. One of the reasons why I bought it was because I know all the Sonic characters, and I had a lot of fun being Dr. Eggman. He's always been my favorite Sonic character, and so whenever there's a racing game with him in it, I just love being Dr. Eggman. And it was fantastic. I really enjoyed this game. A lot of great memories. Now, at this time is when I decided to get the Pro Controller, which made this a lot more fun. But the main reason, of course, was because of the Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Now, again, that's another game case that I don't know where it is. I had my game cases all here stacked, right, to go talk about, and my daughter likes to come in and take things real fast, right? So, but that's another game that I love, and I remember I got the Pro Controller specifically for this because I was not going to do motion controls for that. And then I eventually moved on to you could get like a Wii add-on, not a Wii add-on, pardon me, a GameCube add-on. And I was lucky because my console you could flip down and there was the ports to put in your GameCube controllers, which is also good because that particular Wii could also play GameCube games. So you could have that. But I remember at one point I had to buy one because for some reason they weren't working as well, and the connections, they weren't working as well as they could have, and they wouldn't register the controllers. So especially when you wanted to have more people playing, you needed to have those ports work. So I ended up buying this add-on component for it. But anyways, but yeah, so Super Smash Bros. Brawl, fantastic game, loved it. I actually played this at the cottage. My grandmother had this nice cottage, and my brother-in-law and I played through the entire game, story mode, and unlocked all the characters in 1 week there at the cottage, and loved it and had a lot of fun. Fantastic memories for me playing this game. We really enjoyed our time with it, and it is again a excellent Smash Brothers game. I mean, I love Smash Brothers. I've been with it since the beginning on the N64. So what a wonderful, wonderful game. And they did a good job here with that as well. Another fighting game that I ended up getting is Tournament of Legends. And so this is a game where it's a beat 'em up game where you're various people from like Greek mythology, Roman mythology, and so on, and even Egyptian mythology. And you're fighting it out, you're duking it out in a tournament style type fighter, and it was very, very fun. I remember you couldn't use the Pro Controller with this, but unfortunately you had to use the motion controls, and so it was fun for a good maybe about a month, I think, as much as we played it. But my sister and I really liked it. And my one friend who had almost every single game system but a Wii, that one I always talk about, used to come over and play this with me and really enjoyed it. Very good visuals, pretty good hit detection. It was a really good fun. I really enjoyed it. It was a good game. And it was also published by Sega, which was also pretty cool. Another game that I really liked a lot, and thought the motion controls were fantastic with this one. And this is one of the few times, I got this near the end of my time with the Wii console. But I really didn't mind having the motion controls for this because I felt like a badass. And that is Star Wars Force Unleashed 2. So with this game, I using the motion controls, I felt like I had the Force. So I would actually, like, you're playing the game, there's a bunch of stormtroopers coming at you and you do a force push, but you had to move the controller in that direction and you would get the force push, so you actually became more immersed. And I think that was what Nintendo was going for that sort of more immersion aspects as well with their console. And it worked very well with this game. Loved that for this reason. And I know this was on a lot of other consoles, but I really think it did very well on the Wii for that reason. And that is the only time near the end of the console's life that I did not mind at all using the motion controls for. However, I did not enjoy using the motion controls for things like Zelda Skyward Sword. Now that's another game that I had here, but it has now walked away. I got that for a Christmas gift one year, and I know it had just been dropped that year and we had gotten it, and I did not finish it. Like a lot of people who played this game on the Wii, the motion controls for me, it got tiresome and the hit detection wasn't working. Like you go to slash the goblins and you'd keep doing this before it even register it, and it was frustrating to play. But my brother-in-law at the time was staying with us and my mom at the house, and he was living there temporarily with my sister, and he played this game, I think maybe about a week, maybe a little more than that, and beat it and liked it. He didn't mind having the motion controls. Yeah, it was frustrating a little bit for him as well, but he didn't mind it. And I remember watching him periodically as I was in university, or I'd be going to work or school and come back, and then he'd be, doing that, and I'd periodically see where he had progressed to and so on. And it was pretty good, visuals and enemies and level design. It was a very good Zelda game. Only thing I didn't like was motion controls. That ruined it. And if your controls suck, in the case for me at least, with the motion controls, I ain't gonna play your game. And so that's what kind of happened here. I'm glad now that they have brought it over to the Switch. So I haven't got it for the Switch yet, but I probably will be, because I really would like to try that one again. Although that's, for me, it's very funny because I very rarely have ever really finished a Zelda game. It's only been recently that I've been actually trying to finish Zelda games. But anyways, another game that I loved very much that I actually do not know. So there's a couple of games, I have a list here. There's a couple of games that have become lost through various moves, and some might be in my mom's basement that might have been packed up or put in the wrong box, or somebody took it when they helped me move, or I don't know. But there is a number of games. This is just not with my Wii collection, but I've noticed with other things like my Wii U and even my PlayStation collections, certain games go missing, and that's the problem when you start to get larger and larger numbers of games. It's very easy for one or two to go missing. The next is Just Dance and Just Dance 2. So if you ever watch my Just Dance review videos, I talked about that a lot. Excellent memories with my sisters and I doing the dancing and the motions, and it was so cool because again, with motion controls, they really perfected those types of rhythm games. and I thought that was a pretty good game in general, and we enjoyed a lot of good memories. Another great game was DK Country Returns, so Donkey Kong Country Returns. I only played maybe a couple of levels with that. It's a hard game. I found it difficult, but again, that was with motion controls. I never bothered to play it again with the Pro Controller, but it was very difficult with motion controls, and that put me off. So I would like to get into that game again, because I do like Donkey Kong games quite a bit. I remember a game that is a party game. It was called Game Party. And my sister and I, the one that's good with games, really liked, there was two main games from here. There's a whole collection of games, like there was dart, shuffleboard, trivia, and beer pong, and all these different types of party games. But the two that we liked the most were darts and shuffleboard. That was super fun. The darts were almost, I would say, almost as good as Wii bowling, right? The Wii Sports bowling. It was fun. We would spend hours just throwing those darts. And the motion controls for the darts, you couldn't play with the Pro Controller. You had to use the motion control. You're sensing a theme here with the Wii games. Many require the motion controls to throw the dart. It was a lot of fun. And I actually didn't mind doing that. The other games I did not really do too much, because it seemed to me, again, those particular mini games had very bad detection with the motion control, so you'd move and it wouldn't register or shoot it in the opposite direction. Very frustrating. But for those two games, though, it managed to do very well, and they became one of our favorites between my sister and I. Another game that I just do not know where it went, which is very sad, is Epic Mickey. I remember buying this in a bargain bin for, I think, like $5 at Walmart. And I remember putting it in. I remember really liking it. And then I didn't get very far in it. I think maybe about an hour-ish in. And then I remember it was around exam time. And so I remember putting it away because I was studying for exams. And then I honestly do not remember ever seeing it again. So I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if somebody borrowed it, or a friend of my sister's, or whatever, because we had a lot of friends coming over all the time, and they just took it. I don't know, but I haven't been able to find that game ever again ever since that happened at that time, which is unfortunate. And then another game that I bought that I really liked at the time was Monster Hunter 3. This is a fantastic game, and I love the back here because it tells you you can use the Pro Controller or the motion controls. And can you take a guess what I've used? I used the Pro Controller for this because I was definitely not going to use the motion controls. I tried once, just to give it a try, and it was a terrible experience with that. So I chose the Pro Controller, and it was a very good game. I'm not very good at Monster Hunter. It's a lot of fun hunting these massive beasts. Where I got my money's worth from the game, though, was playing on co-op mode, where you and a friend, or in this case usually my sister, a second player, would take down this massive monster in an arena. We used to have so much fun with that, and I loved that aspect of the game, and I used to get a lot of good loot and a lot of good experience with doing that, and I really enjoyed that, and we used to get a lot of our money's worth with that. Excellent game, great graphics, even for the Wii. It wasn't the best type of graphics anyways on the Wii, but I really enjoyed it, really had a lot of fun. But yeah, great game. And the last game I got was a game that I got when I went on vacation to Disney World in Florida. And it's called Disney Think Fast. This is a fantastic trivia game. An excellent trivia game. So we got this when we were in Disney World, and I believe this was for Christmas. We were there for Christmas, the Christmas season. And they were really pushing the Wii at the time down in Disney World. And this and other Disney games were all over the place, like Epic Mickey, and stands and stores everywhere trying to sell you this stuff. And I'm a big trivia buff, right? I've always liked trivia. And seeing this game immediately made me say, hey, we ought to buy this. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this, and my sisters and I had a lot of fun playing this game. The only problem, of course, with any kind of trivia game is there's only so many questions that you could possibly get. So after, playing it, 4 or 5 times in a short period of time, you kind of get repeat questions, and you lose sort of that replayability. But it is a good game, pretty funny graphics. The genie's the host, and oh my god, he is very witty, very funny. I enjoyed my time with it, and I think at the time this was like $40 Canadian down in the States. So yeah, a lot of fun. So in general, those are all the games that I have had on the Wii. Some of them I wish I could find and locate their presence, but I had a lot of fun with these games. And the Wii wasn't a terrible console, very successful. It wasn't a terrible console. There were some very, very good games. I would say half of the games were pretty decent and had on-par motion controls, and I found a lot of those were very, very perfected near the beginning of the console, in part because they wanted to sell the units to demonstrate that it worked, the proof of concept, if you will. But as it got on and more publishers, it became difficult to sort of program this stuff in, and because of that, things were a little shaky and things didn't necessarily always work the way they should have. So I would say, all in all, if you've never had a Wii, you should definitely try to experience it. In part because things like the Wii U, and even now with the Switch, right, having the Joy-Cons come off and work independently with motion controls, were all inspired and started with the Wii. So I think you should at least go back and look at it historically and even play it, because it's very interesting to play and see all that. Plus the Wii Virtual Console was absolutely dynamite, man. That was a dynamite thing. I remember having so many games on there that I purchased just to replay them and have them. A lot of older titles and older games, which I really, really liked. So with that, guys, that is my collection of the Nintendo Wii and my thoughts on it. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you all have a fantastic day, and we'll speak with you all soon. Bye-bye.